Welcome back to the Skeleton Crew's A Nightmare on Elm Street retrospective. It's time to relive the nightmares with your hosts, Jamie Jenkins, Dave Z, Matt Wiesel, and Alex Edwards. Get ready for an in-depth look into the movies that haunted your dreams since 1984. So put down that coffee and toss that bottle of Hypnosil. If you think you'll get out of this retrospective alive, you must be dreaming.
Hey, what's up, guys? It is the Skeleton Crew, and we are back. This is our Nightmare on Elm Street retrospective, where we go through every single Nightmare on Elm Street movie for June and July this summer. That's what we're doing this summer, guys. So, this is Alex, and something's trying to get inside my body, and I'm here trying to get some sleep with Jamie Jenkins. What's up, Jamie?
Screw sleep!
Yes, sleep will kill you. Now it's time to sit down with my main man, Dave Z. What's up, Dave?
Well, fuck you, Will! Fuck you! You sit down!
Alright, I'll sit down, sure. And last but not least, it's slumber party time with Matt Wiesel.
How's that for a wet dream?
They're the only kind I remember, Matt. So we're excited here, guys. It is the 8 weeks of A Nightmare on Elm Street. Like I said, for all of June and July, we are going to release one show a week for 8 straight weeks for 8 movies. Fred Krueger returns once again to haunt both the dreams of his daughter and Springwood's last surviving teenager.
Welcome to a brand new nightmare.
Great to be back in business.
The final nightmare.
It's your mind or go for it.
I won't tell.
This is my favorite.
It's gotta be me and him. We're gonna have to hit him with everything we've got.
Cool.
Freddy's Dead. The final nightmare. They saved the best for last. Rated R. Starts Friday, September 13th at a theater near you.
Welcome to prime time, bitch. You are all my children now.
Alright, guys, this time we get into the final. I guess this is the last review of the retrospective, right? Because it says here, Freddy's Dead? The final. Okay, so we're done. I could have sworn we'd fill out July, but
This is it.
Jason went to hell, too.
oh, he did? Oh, so we didn't. Wait, how did we end up reviewing Jason X and Jason vs. Freddy and a remake then?
Because they lie.
They're lying. I thought you're not allowed to do false advertising. So Robert Englund plays Freddy Krueger. Lisa Zane plays Maggie Burrows. Sean Greenblatt plays John Doe. That's the kid who lost his memory.
Blatt.
And Lisa Zane plays Freddy's daughter. Leslie Dean plays Tracy, the girl who is a poor man's Jodie Foster.
Discount Jodie Foster, that's what I call her.
Discount Jodie Foster?
Discount.
What about what this girl looks like now? You guys see that?
Oh
It
my
took two
Lord.
different paths. That's definitely for sure, yeah. I mean, what the fuck, man? She's fucking whacked out, like tripping on acid nonstop or something. I don't know.
Well, she actually says in Never Sleep Again that this film is responsible for her taking a path that sort of led her to peel back some memories and remember when she was molested as a child or something. But then I'm thinking, is that path what led you to today? Because she has a pet. in her when she's in the video for Never Sleep Again, she has a pet, which is like a girl, and she just sort of, it's weird.
That's her.
I envy this bitch. I want a pet chick. I mean, come on.
Well, she's a carpet muncher.
Yeah.
So that's how that happened.
She said something about peeling it back, you said?
She's a laser.
Right.
You didn't know?
I guess now I do.
She was so happy, though, when we revealed what a banana laser is. She was thrilled, dude.
Yeah, guys, I just want to take a quick second to plug my podcast. Thanks for having me on this one, by the way. But, I host this show called Banana Laser. It's also on horrorphilia.com. It's with two other assholes, and we just had our bananiversary, so you guys should check it out.
So cute, bananiversary.
Ricky Dean Logan plays Carlos, the kid who's hard of hearing. Breckin Meyer, supposedly he's a big actor now. He is Spencer, the guy with the horrific haircut that resembles the older version of Bill on the movie It. This whole short hair in the front, ponytail in the back thing is just crazy to me.
That's a 90s haircut through and through right there.
Oh, God.
Yeah. He looks like that kid from The Craft. And I think that kid from The Craft is somewhat famous. Is that like Seth somebody or some shit? You know, Jamie will know.
Seth Green?
Is Seth Green in The Craft?
No.
I don't know.
Okay, who's that kid that says, what's that snail trail saying over there when the girl's talking in class?
That's Breckin Meyer.
Okay, well, a poor man's Breckin Meyer then. Okay.
No, but
No, wait, he is
Breckin Meyer.
it's the same guy.
Are you fucking for real?
Yes, it's the same guy.
Oh.
So
There's also Franklin and or Bash on the USA Network.
He actually had a big career for a bit there. Like he was in a Road Trip. He had like a bunch of
Yeah, Road Trip, Rat Race, Garfield, Clueless.
Well, yeah, that's
Franklin and Bash on the USA Network. Come on, people.
Oh, I thought his name was Seth all these years.
Yeah, well, it's funny you should say that because he did used to be on Adult Swim a lot because he and Seth Green were friends. I don't know if he still is or not, but on Adult Swim on
Robot Chicken?
Robot Chicken, yeah.
Oh, that's it then. Okay.
And now he acts with Zach from Saved by the Bell on something.
Franklin and Bash. Come on, guys.
I think Matt might know what it is.
Is my mic on mute?
Does that kid stay John Doe the whole movie? You mentioned.
Yes.
Did we never find out his name?
No, because he's not Freddy's kid.
You don't find out anything about him. It's fucking stupid.
No, who wants to know? I want to know. I wish I didn't know anything about any of these people. Yaphet Koto is supposedly a famous guy. He plays the doctor.
He's an alien.
Oh, he is? Okay.
Yeah.
Tom Arnold and Roseanne Barr. I'm done. Johnny Deep came back. Johnny Deep!
Johnny Deep. I go deep on him.
How weird is it how this movie opens up? You know how they do these, like, Edgar Allan Poe?
Edgar Allan Poe.
Quotes.
Quote.
Edgar Allan Poe quotes and stuff about sleep, slices of death, how I hate sleep or something like that.
How I loathe them.
Yeah, how I loathe them. Now the quote is, to start this movie, welcome to prime time, bitch.
And that's what I like
second
about
one. They have a previous one with.
They're bringing it back, guys. They're bringing it back.
That's probably to tell people, hey, if you're wondering why he says bitch so much, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, this guy does not stop with the bitch.
But let me say, I like that they do that with Welcome to Primetime Bitch, because in my opinion, that sets the tone for this movie. It just said, okay, we're just coming right out and saying that this is a fucking joke now. This isn't part 4 and 5 where we're taking ourselves.
You're going to want your money back, bitch. That will set the tone for this film.
We got your money, bitch.
They should have had Bugs Bunny come out and introduce the fucking movie then, if that's the case.
Because we get Freddy. We get Freddy Coyote.
Jesus Christ.
With the bed of nails, Alice Cooper shit. Oh, wow, that's weird. Alice Cooper is in this movie.
Oh, look at that.
Now, a really big thing happened. A lady who was in on the whole series from the beginning, I think, she got the chance to direct this movie. What's her name?
Talalay!
Talalay.
Hello!
Talalay!
Rachel!
This was a big plus for this movie. She really brought the Warner Brothers cartoon thing to life, I think.
Oh, my God.
Well, thank God for that. That's exactly what this series was missing.
Now, how do you guys feel she did at her stint in directing A Nightmare on Elm Street?
Terrible, because obviously she has no control over anybody on this movie set, because there are moments in the movie where you feel like, man, if they just did this a little different, it could be creepy and effective. But there is zero creepiness throughout this movie whatsoever. Later in the movie, you get to the town of Springwood, and there's no kids. And some of the moments where the parents are talking to themselves and wanting kids and teaching a class of no one could be actually creepy, but it's just silly.
Right. I think it makes a wrong turn. And when we get that overhead shot of the carnival, and it's really empty and run down, and you see just grown-ups wandering around, that could be a really effective moment. As a matter of fact, I like that shot. But then they ruin it by having Tom and Roseanne being all goofy and over the top.
Ethel, you know they bring him.
Yeah.
Tom.
Then when they go to, again, like Matt said, when they go to the school and you have the teacher in the school teaching no one, that alone is a really creepy idea. But then you just have him mumbling stuff that doesn't even, okay, he says 1492, Freddy sailed. No, he didn't.
Yeah, why did they change the date?
If he was talking about actual things, then that would be really creepy. But the fact that he's just rhyming shit, it just, I don't know, it pulls me out. And
in 1978, he killed his sister. 10 years later, he came back for his niece. 10 years after that, he went to kill his sister again.
That would have been better. Yes.
And here's about that scene anyway. I mean, you got this guy, and then you learn one thing. You learn that they took his kid. And that's the only thing you learn, and then you hightail it out of the room. I mean, I think I would probably be trying to milk this guy for more information or something. To me, that just seems weird. It's just like, oh, we have a fact. Let's go.
Yeah, they're looking for clues as it is. Here's a guy spewing clues. Some of them are bullshit, some aren't. But hey, maybe stick around for the full lesson.
But they flipped. They flipped the fuck out. And this is where the series needed to go. This to me.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll tell you why. Because 4 fucking completely fucked up the series, and 5 fucked it up some more. And this movie, to me, this is the Jason X of the Nightmare on Elm Street series. And what I mean by that,
X is good.
It knows what it is. That's what I'm saying. They're just trying to fucking. They know where they're at now. They know that they're a ridiculous fucking series. Freddy is just a comic now, literally. And that's what they think people want to see. So rather than try to fucking masquerade themselves as being scary, they're just going to come out and go batshit crazy and let fucking all this stuff happen. And I respect them for it. I'd rather see that than some bullshit like 4 and 5 trying to masquerade itself as anything cohesive.
No, I don't. And here's why. Jason X knows what it is, of course. Mm-hmm. But it still manages to be good. It still manages to be visceral. And there are some... It looks well made, at the very least. This film, they didn't even try that whole, they knew it was bad. Well, fuck you. That's like I'm going into a restaurant and they give me a dish and they're like, we know this tastes like shit, but you have to respect us for that and pay us anyway.
Was this made by Tom Six? What the fuck?
I'm like, no, you cannot knowingly put out a shitty product and expect me to be okay with that. And I'm not going to respect you just because, we knew it was bad. There's a difference between going to a point of silliness where you feel like you've got nothing to lose and you may as well just go balls to the wall, but you can still try. And I think that completely abandoning any attempt to make Freddy scary was a huge mistake. And they abandoned it.
Yeah, you
he
guys
could have been
point.
again. He could have been again, and New Nightmare proves that.
The point is ultimately they're marketing this movie towards kids. At this point, we already said the Looney Tunes thing. This is literally Saturday morning movie for children. It absolutely is.
That's all they had left. And they were going to kill him off because he became such a fucking joke. So they say, okay, we're going to kill 2 birds at one stone. We're going to kill him the fuck off. Fuck you, Freddy, because you've run out of steam. But we're going to go out doing what we think makes you popular. Even though they were wrong, because 3 was what really made it popular. 4 brought in all that money. They thought that jokey Freddy was what people wanted. And then he grew in popularity, became a pop culture guy. So they just expanded on it some more. And I gotta say, the plot in this movie, I am more interested in these people and these characters than any of the bullshit in 4 and 5.
Me too.
No. I have to say, when I told you guys when we did the last one, when we did 5, I was like, 6 is going to have to try really fucking hard to beat this at being bad. Like, 6 is going to have to just basically dig a hole in the ground and climb into it to be worse than the bullshit I just watched. And it actually manages to do it. I was like, I did not remember exactly how bad this movie was, but it is bad. And I'm not even just talking about the no, I'm playing with power bullshit. I'm talking about the plot in its entirety. I'm talking about this whole bullshit storyline. The fact that since when does knocking someone over the head with a pipe equal them going to sleep? You know, and suddenly this guy can enter someone else's dream just because you knocked him out. That's bullshit. He doesn't know how to do that. You have to know how to do it. You can't just knock me over the head. Like, okay, I'll see you guys tonight. When I go to sleep, I'm just going to pop up in your dreams. You know, I have no idea how to do it, you know. As a matter of fact, I don't want to wait till then. I'm going to hit myself over the head with a hammer. And because that's the same. And it's not. I mean, there's absolutely.
Yeah, how could he enter? Because the girl had a method. The black guy taught her a method of some kind to get into the dream. And she said, you have to, like, relax and something like that.
Meditation, relaxation. But it's still bullshit because they broke their own rules from the previous 2 movies of how you enter other people's dreams. They just
did.
Yeah, they just make it seem like you accept it, that it can just happen. So
yeah, one person had a crazy gift.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, well, guys, it's just a lot better in these movies when more than one person's in the dream. So we're just going to, anybody could do it now with a...
I'll tell you what, though, the story is better. The whole whodunit, or not whodunit, but who is
it?
Yes.
Who is it? Yep.
They did it bad. They failed miserably, but it's actually a better story than Alice's child, you know, having dreams. It's a better story. It's just
they just fucked it up.
They fucked it up bad.
And there's kids going to sleep in this movie. What do you know? Holy shit. Something we haven't seen in 2 movies. A kid, in the beginning of the fucking thing, there's a kid in bed. And he's waking up, Johnny Doe and all that fucking shit. At least it's asleep. And yeah, I do agree that jumping into the dreams, yeah, that's stupid. I'm on board with that. But as far as the pipe to the back of the head to make him sleep, like, that's much worse, or any worse than fucking Alice's daydreaming in 4 and 5. It's just as ludicrous.
You know how I felt about that too. I'm not.
Right.
It's fucking bad. I mean, the last couple movies have been bad, but it doesn't even stop there. It's like, okay, when we saw a road sign when they were traveling from the demilitarized zone child center that they were at, that it was just ridiculous, to Springwood, there was a sign that said 2 miles, you know, and then they're going to Springwood, and I'm like, are you going to tell me that no one around this area knows anything about what's been going on in Springwood? No one knows that there are all these weird, whacked out parents wandering around. I mean, this shit doesn't happen. You know, it's not like they're in the middle of, no, even if they were, I still don't believe it. Like, I have a hard time believing Children of the Corn, you know, because places just aren't that isolated anymore. But even now, I mean, there were towns surrounding it. We saw that. They were, like, right there. And
this movie does take place in the future. We need to discuss that. I mean,
oh, that's right.
You know, maybe that has something to do with it.
And I do like that aspect of fucking... That's one thing I always liked about this movie. In the beginning, when they show that map and they said that Freddy's killed fucking everybody in Springville, I think that's fucking cool. It's a good hook right there. There's nobody left. He got that strong that he fucking wiped everybody out. And the fact that they erased the parents' minds, that was clever because then, you know, now fucking they can't say anything. They don't even remember.
Apparently they didn't because Tom's like, you know they bring him. You know, so they remember. And she's all, I'll be careful this time. I won't let him get you. I'll hide you better. So
you're right. They dropped the ball. You're right,
yeah,
Jamie.
Yeah, they repeatedly dropped the ball.
But I think Roseanne and Tom belong there. That's just the kind of wacky movie this is. It was like, we're going out, we're going to do these stupid fucking cameos for the stupid comedy first, horror second type of movie. And like that woman in the plane that was supposed to be, what's her name? That divine girl from Pink Flamingos and shit. Right. That's just the vibe they were going for in this movie. Do I like it? No. But I just, like I said, it's a movie that knows what it is. And I don't know. I feel differently about it than I do 4 and 5, just because of that.
I just don't think knowing you're bad gives you a path to be bad and expect people to.
No, they don't know they're bad. They know that they're going over the top.
Right. They know that that Freddy's a jokester now, and they're not going to make any attempt at being scary, and they're just going to fucking let Freddy do gags, and then, have kids fucking falling asleep, and let's come up with more creative dream shit, which they did. I'll say it's another plus. The dreams in this are more like what fucking dreams are. Say what you will. You go to sleep and you have a dream. They're always fucked up that way. You could see some stupid shit like that happening. Oh, I was playing a Nintendo game, then I was in it, and then this happened. It just seems a little more like dreams, as stupid as it sounds.
And again, we have examples of them acting out what they're doing in their dreams, as far as like when Breckenmeyer is hopping all over the house.
And he walks up stairs that don't exist.
Yeah, and he's so banging his head into the ceiling. What? That to me is just,
too much.
If you're gonna, I actually don't hate. Like, I love the scene where Breckenmeyer's watching TV and it starts to get all psychedelic, and then we get a little bit of Iron Butterfly, which I think is awesome. The best part of the movie.
Johnny Depp is in that bit.
Oh yeah, I think that's kind of cool that they did that callback. I love that, and then even if he were to have the dream about playing a video game, that's what was going on at the time. They wanted to incorporate the Power Glove because that was a thing at the time, and I think that's okay too. It's just know when to stop, know when to pull it back. When you have him doing the march around the house and then banging his head up against the wall, and that's too much. It's you have now exceeded what you needed to do, and you've gone into fucked up territory.
I agree. Definitely, that was too much. And it was the video game was cheesy and everything else, but it was still creative. It was kind of
also the whole we can't wake him up because he's too stoned. Fuck you. Yeah, he had one joint. No one is gonna smoke one joint and you can't wake him up. What is that?
Powerful
what the hell is
shit.
he smoking? Was smoking it laced with Ambien?
They said
he's having an LSD dream.
Exactly.
That's not what you think of with pot. Like, what was that all about?
Hey, Spence, let's trip out. I love it. I love that fucking
How about this, though?
And that song.
If they're trying to make Freddy funny, why isn't he funny? Everything he says is not fucking funny. I want you and your soul, too, as his opening line or whatever. Like, that is not funny. What are you on? Looks like some eggs and a frying pan to me. That's not fucking funny. Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
I was wondering, like, Johnny Depp, what he thought of that. Like, he came all the way over there so Freddy can go, what are you on? It looks like eggs in a frying pan. Like, what?
We could write better one-liners than this shit.
Right.
And every other line he has is terrible. None of his lines work.
Exactly.
And his delivery was shitty, too. Almost like it wasn't Freddy
vs. Jason.
He's definitely phoning it in at this point.
How about even Spencer's line? He eats an apple and goes, all right, I'm Super Spencer.
Oh, God.
Be like me. Be like me. Be like me.
Be like me.
Yeah, you can hear the shame in his voice when he says, I'm Super Spencer.
Oh, well,
Like
yeah. Because he probably saw the last movie and remembered Super Freddy.
But that was the low point of this movie, actually. Would you agree that video game thing was everything about it was
that's
the low
about
point?
as silly as it got, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm with Matt. That's my whole point. If you want to take him to a comedic place at this point in his career, in Freddy's existence, I don't see the problem with that. If you want to go for broke or whatever and play to what you think people want, I get that. But make it funny. Just try to do some quality writing. Every one of these lines is like they were walking around like a classroom of toddlers going, what would you say at this point? Our first introduction to Freddy in this movie is him dressed as the Wicked Witch of the East, because it's crushed by the house. And that is what? You're gonna give you Freddy in drag? The first thing you see is Freddy in drag? That's not scary or anything. I'll
get you in your little soul, too.
Well, you can't try to be scary and funny. It is a horror movie still, supposedly.
You know why? Because they flopped so bad with 5, and these execs are thinking, hey, it's not the scary shit that got him big, it's the funny stuff that got him big. Let's just focus on the funny. Were they right? No, they weren't right. Were the jokes bad? Yes. But then again, I don't think the jokes were good in 4 and 5 either, so.
Well, I don't either. But every single thing that fell out of his mouth was a shitty one-liner. There was not quality dialogue at any point that came out of Freddy's mouth.
Yeah, I agree that. It was stupid.
I think it's embarrassing and awful. And I spent the entirety of my viewing experience going, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
This movie's all over the place, even with how dreams work and who's sleeping and who's not. Like this guy Spencer, when they do this thing and he's jumping all over, they do what his last thing, I guess his death, is he falls down a flight of stairs, and somehow Maggie, who's awake, can see this hole just form in the floor that he goes in. And he just disappears into this hell pit that just forms in the floor, and she's looking at it and avoiding it. And then later she's like, I tried helping Spencer, but it was too late, he's gone.
That's the extent of the explanation you get to. Hey, he's gone. I tried.
The deaths, you come to this kind of movie for, some deaths, right? I think the last film, Part 5, only had a few kills too. This one has 3, I think.
Yeah, why does the last girl live? Like, why does that need to happen?
Again, they did that shit.
Yeah, they had more people to kill. I mean, Yaphet Kotto even has a dream, a nightmare with Freddy, and he's not even a teenager, which is strange, but why not kill him? Fuck it,
Anyone get people to kill. Freddy's ass with that pipe or baseball bat or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At one point. And they can't decide to when is it real? When is it a dream? And again, it's just like they don't care. Like they just go, well, this can happen. Like, okay, when they pull Freddy out into the real world, at one point you actually see him, and I mentioned this earlier, but he's climbing around on the ceiling. And then just a few seconds later, when she breaks his hand, he goes, oh, I forgot how much it hurts to be human. Oh, yeah, because that's what humans do. Humans crawl around the fucking ceiling.
And humans snap their hands back together and then put a glove on it and go hitting people with it. Like, what? If your hand cracked in half like that, you're going to tell me you would just look at it, crack a joke about, man, gee, I forgot how much this shit hurts, and then just push it back to normal? Like, are you dreaming, Freddy? Like, I don't fucking get it. And then what about when the kids are in the van and they drive around town 2,000 times and they're always in front of the same statue? Are they all sleeping?
Right.
Yeah, that was very weird. Yeah.
Just like Part 4, stupid. They rehashed something so stupid.
Yeah, the time loop thing or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, clearly they're not sleeping at that point, because we actually do see the deaf kid. He does fall asleep in the back of the van. So, and he has that whole dream where the map is engulfing him.
I like that.
I actually like that joke. Yeah.
So clearly the other ones are not sleeping because they're driving around, and yet he manages to be able to control them leaving the town. Well, no, that's not how it works. He doesn't have that kind of power. If you're not sleeping, there's nothing he can do. And
maybe in the future.
Damn it! He gets more technologically advanced.
The dream demons that empowered him,
oh God,
have gave him more powers.
That's a whole other thing right there. The dream people, that's what they promised me. Oh, suck a dick.
They don't look like people, that's for sure.
And wasn't that recreation horrendous? It was lacking so much dialogue, and the delivery was terrible from Robert Englund.
I want it all!
Yeah, it didn't seem authentic at all. Like, something about that whole thing, and it's weird, because I was going to say, what do you guys think of, we go through this all the time with these 4 people, except for Leatherface. For some reason, they don't give him any backstory on why he kills people. But the other guys, as they go on and they explain why they live or whatever, it gets worse and worse and worse. So, now, let's do Freddy real quick, everything leading up to here.
3. In 3, we met Amanda Kruger. She told the story about the rape and the 100 maniacs, yada yada.
So this one is the first Dream Demon thing, then?
Yeah. It comes out of nowhere. It's like fucking, Jason Goes to Hell, which I would still rather watch Freddy's Dead than Jason Goes to Hell. Fuck that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sort of buying it, but it was so poorly executed when they when they showed it or whatever. But how? Because I'm thinking, well, how else could he have the powers he has? Making a deal with Dream.
Right. It doesn't matter. We don't need an explanation.
Exactly. They shouldn't have explained it at all.
They shouldn't have explained why he could be in your dream.
No, we don't need to know that. It's just it just is.
Yeah.
Do we ever need to know? No. Do they keep doing it in every fucking franchise?
Yes. Yeah, well, that goes back to fucking Cult of Thorn, too.
Right.
Which I could stab him in the eyeballs for. I mean, that we don't need it. It's not necessary. And every single time they try to do it, they fuck it up. And if you try to put too much meaning behind then it just takes away the scary. It takes away the mythology. Even by adding that much mythology, it actually detracts from it, in my opinion. And it takes away the mystery, which is part of what makes it scary. Is that we don't know how it happens, but it just is, and that's all you need to know.
All right, what about? There's a lot of origin story in this movie. You got him in the backyard, and of course he has to wear a green shirt.
I want to know how he pulled it together in his adult life to be able to have a family, because they show the flashbacks of him killing animals and shit and loving to be whipped and all this shit. And it's like, I'm not buying the fact that you were able to trick some bitch into marrying you and then fucking have your love child or whatever.
And then kill her, apparently.
Dave, the ultimate liar.
I mean, that's never been... Oh, sorry.
No, I'm just saying, serial killers, we've seen things, and they've been married, and they led double lives. They had bodies buried underneath the house and in the basement and all that shit.
Yeah, I guess
John Wayne Gacy was married twice.
Charles Manson just got married a couple months ago.
He also killed this woman, apparently, and I guess he was never jailed for that. That has never come up before now.
In the broad daylight in their backyard, he just strangles her, throws her down, and it's like, I won't tell. And how about when
she did?
But how about when that wife comes up out of the basement after that was her first fucking time in that basement. She comes up out of there, and then the first word she says is, I won't tell. That is what you say? Wouldn't it be, what the fuck is going on down there? And it was the delivery was horrendous, too. And the kid was the best actor in this movie. That little girl sold me on every line.
Yeah, and she was the only jump rope girl we had. What the fuck? No jump rope girls, no tricycles, nothing.
And she didn't even go,
No song? They didn't sing the song, you just read it on the walls and shit.
Yes, but they skipped 7 and 8.
Oh, you fucking jerk.
What was that, Alex?
Did you notice that 7 and 8 weren't there?
I did not. That is crazy bit of trivia.
Oh, boy.
Hey, how about this, though? One of the coolest things the backstory provided us, the most interesting thing, I think, is his arsenal in his basement.
Yeah.
He had all the different gloves and stuff. He had the meat hook glove, the tack glove. They all looked badass. And isn't it crazy that even though they showed all that and he had his normal fucking glove on throughout the movie, nobody gets killed with any glove in this movie?
Doesn't she stab him with his own glove?
Yeah, but he doesn't use it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he's so over this glove.
Right.
It's all about what he can do. I'm going to put you in a video game and just beat the shit out of you.
Well, that was the power glove he used.
Oh, Jesus.
Cuts off Spencer's ear and scratches on a chalkboard.
Yeah, so they did implement it.
Yeah, but that's like...
that doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
I think it counts.
I do like the nails on the chalkboard bit, though.
Oh, so do I. I like that whole dream.
That's what we're always waiting for with Freddy, the nail on the chalkboard gag. And we finally got it in full effect. If you think about it, he almost never kills anybody with his gloves. So what's the difference?
Yeah, I guess that's true. I just haven't seen any of these movies in a long time. So I know you guys are watching them, but I'm not.
But see, that always bothers me. You're not watching them along with us? Shame on you. That always bothers me that he doesn't utilize it more, because you have this really badass weapon that you could do a lot with. Why not?
I don't know. Well, Jason doesn't really use his machete all that much, right?
That's like his backup weapon, though. He uses all sorts of shit. But he always has. I mean, he's always just used all kinds of random bullshit that you find around the house. And
How come this John Doe? Why does he always dream in barefoot now?
And why are his feet like grocery store feet? Like when you see him in bed, he's laying in bed with 7-Eleven feet, and I'm like, who would do that? Who would go to bed with their feet that dirty?
Yeah, and he instead of wearing shoes, he wraps Wonder Bread bags on his feet. That's so weird. Okay, I just threw that in there to make this movie more interesting. I'm sorry.
It worked.
Yeah, see? You're like, wow, I gotta watch this again.
Hey, did anybody else think that the Doc looked like an older version of Kincaid?
Yes.
It was in the future.
Yeah, maybe it is
back
Kincaid.
to life. Yeah.
Maybe it is. That's why he's so knowledgeable about the dream demons. And, this is...
back! Freddy's
Yeah.
back!
And the next
Doc
cut. Now, you keep saying about the future. I probably checked out at many times during the movie. So when does this take place? How long after part 5?
It says 10 years from now. And if you take in continuity, I guess, from part 5, then that came out in the 80s still, right? So
1999.
Wow.
Is when Freddy's Dead is supposed to take place.
Yeah, because 89 was Freddy's whatever the fuck. Child.
Also, Fight Club came out the same year. Awesome.
And they weren't really doing comedy horror in 99, actually.
That's
And
why
they weren't playing on a fucking Power Glove. I fucking tell you that. Jesus Christ. You had a Nintendo 64, motherfucker. Or a GameCube or something, I don't know.
Well, to be fair,
64, and then
Freddy's not in the real world, so it probably took him 10 years to figure that out.
Oh, yeah, he's behind. Yeah.
Yeah. He only learns through dreams. So
I'm playing with power.
Oh, great graphics.
Yeah, and meanwhile, those graphics fucking suck, dude. And they would have especially sucked in 1999.
do you think that guy looked like
Be like me.
Yeah, be like me. Him.
Be like me. That is so awesome. I love that part.
Don't you
Be
think
like
he
me.
looked like a Simpsons character?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah.
They should have had the actual NES Nightmare on Elm Street game where you're like running around stomping on spiders and shit. They should have had that.
Yeah, and killing Frankenstein zombies.
This is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to play the NES game, and right when you finish, watch Freddy's Dead, or the other way around. Watch Freddy's Dead when you finish, play the Nintendo game. That's a great night for to relive the
Or who?
1989.
Yeah, great night.
Well, just
Dude, I'm totally engulfed in this Freddy shit, and it's like I've become a different person, and I hate myself.
I bet.
But how about this though? Let's give some appreciative points to this.
I'll just mute myself.
It is cool that Springwood has no children. You have to admit that's eerie shit.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
They just handled it wrong. But yeah, the idea behind most of the ideas in this movie, like of the structure of the story, are actually okay, and they just fuck it up with the details.
Right. I like the flashbacks of Freddy. The guy who played Freddy as a teenager was a little odd when he was getting smacked. He's like, "Thank you, sir. May I have another?" Well, that shit.
Yeah, his hair was very red too. It was strange. And how come she is able to go inside Freddy's mind too? It's just she goes to sleep and all of a sudden she's in Freddy's mind. It's like, I understand it's the last movie, they want to give us the backstory, which is a cool idea, but
how does she know to do that?
How? Yeah, exactly.
Because movie.
Inside his mind.
she's got his blood in his veins, and Doc Kincaid gave her all the tricks.
Doc Kincaid.
How about, this is one thing that I wondered watching it this time, is Doc Kincaid says that the dream people were searching dreams, looking for the most heinous human being possible to give them powers. And that person was Freddy Krueger?
Yeah, it should have been like Adolf Hitler or something.
Not Mussolini or anything? Get the fuck out of here.
Maybe the dream people came to life after those guys died.
Yeah, they came around during the 60s, whenever I guess he died. Yeah. So that's another thing. It's like, okay, it's supposed to be Freddy's kid, right? If you actually inspect this is where they fuck up all the mystery element, in that the main characters with John Doe and maybe even Tracy, they're supposed to be red herrings to be Freddy's kid, right? But it doesn't work if you do the math. It's like, no, they're supposed to be like 40 years old.
Exactly, and I said that too at one point when he was talking about, like, I'm Freddy's kid. I'm like, no, you're fucking not. You're not old enough. I mean,
You're 20 years old. I don't think so.
We just saw the timeline that crazy teacher gave us.
Yeah, you were born in 1492, weren't you?
According to him, it was like 1966 when they took his child. Like when they took his child away from him. And that dude wasn't even born in 1966, so
You think I'm your daddy? Sorry, kiddo. It's a boy!
Wrong movie. That whole mystery element would have been pretty cool, but if you didn't know instantly that it was the main character right from the beginning.
How about her? Do you feel this is bad casting?
Yep.
Yes. I don't think she could be Freddy's kid on any level. She looks so Greek and the dark black hair.
Yeah.
It's just like, what? And she doesn't even look like the fucking kid.
Not one bit.
Yeah, that kid was perfect as Freddy's kid. She had the nice brownish, blondish hair, that she was dressed like it was the classic daughter, like, and even her acting was perfect. Everything
should have
about
been Tracy. She was blonde. She was a fighter. It would have been better as far as a final confrontation to have somebody. For some reason, the main character, what's her name, Maggie? Yeah, she all of a sudden is able to like fight and shit at the end.
Oh, she's an expert knife thrower.
What?
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, exactly.
A circus act. Yeah.
Except for she inexplicably shoots him in the thigh with the and I'm like, why are you shooting him in the leg? Why would you not aim that at his heart or his head?
Literally, that was it. This doesn't happen much in my life, but that was the scene where I just turned and looked at Tiffany. I was like, yep, we're watching this.
And it's also like, it's also the worst climax out of any of these movies. I'm willing to bet. The worst.
Freddy's dead.
The worst. Front to back. After the flashbacks, which are cool, and if you saw them in 3D, are even cooler. But yeah, the whole fight, get the fuck out of here. It is terrible. It's not entertaining.
I think 5 is worse. I think the 5 climax is worse because so much was going on, you didn't know what was what.
Oh, that I do remember that one being very confusing, and I think the kid just threw up on Freddy or something.
Threw up.
Isn't that what happened?
Freddy went inside the kid went inside Freddy, he went inside the girl, then he went inside of Amanda, all for no reason, for no explanation.
No.
That's worse. And think about part 2. I don't know what the fuck is going on in that climax.
Yeah, but at least part 2, it was somewhat scary. You know?
Oh, overall, yeah, as a movie.
That
yeah.
atmosphere, yeah.
Right. And as far as Maggie being the lead, she suffers from fucking, what's her name, from Friday the 13th 5, like Pam. She just wasn't a strong enough actress to be taken as a lead.
Mm-hmm. All the other kids, to me, were more interesting. Carlos, Tracy,
yes,
Spencer even. They all were actually pretty interesting, you know, as characters. They all were like abused kids in some kind of manner. And so they weren't just high schoolers, like the jock, the dumbass, the weightlifter. So
right,
I actually thought they were interesting characters.
I cared about these characters more than I did the ones in 4 and 5.
Oh, because they're... Oh, how could you not? I mean, don't get me wrong with Maggie. I would face rape her, but I just don't want to watch her as a lead.
Yeah, I'd bang her.
Oh, yeah.
She's okay. And they did play on Tracy being the daughter. It doesn't make sense, but it doesn't make sense that Johnny Doe would either. Because when Freddy saw her, he said something about Daddy's home or something like that. He's to her. So,
Daddy's home!
And yeah, Tracy says something about her dad, and
then they go into
I always see him in my dreams or something like that. You know, there's all these little hints at an idea that could have been done well, but then it's just not.
Yeah, we're talking about Freddy's dead.
Freddy's dead.
So let's get to, we touched on the chalkboard gag. Let's talk about some kills here. It was very memorable to me when Carlos died. I always remember that, even as a kid. That's pretty crazy how he puts the hearing aid in and then it becomes a crab.
I like the whole playing with the sound. Whenever they take the ear out and the sound goes out, and during the dream you hear just the thumping of his supposed heartbeat. So I liked all that.
He sounds like Michael J. when he bought Halloween 6.
No, it was like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, Paul Rudd. Oh God, sir.
Yeah, I even like the dream, like where has the pin drop that he's going to drop, and classic.
Yeah.
You could hear a pin drop.
That's a joke that works.
Right.
And his mom used to clean his ears out because he didn't listen to her.
Oh, that part fucks me up.
That does actually. I have to look away during that scene.
How come that doesn't kill him?
That's a good question.
He has no fucking brain to put it through.
Yeah. One thing I want to.
Earlier, I said he cut off Spencer's ear. I meant to say Carlos, for anyone out there who's keeping track and plans on yelling at me about that.
Jamie, nobody cares anymore about us.
Yeah, nobody listens to the show.
I
want to point out there's a couple of good in-camera transition type stuff, not unlike they did in like the Saw films. Like it's in that sequence with Carlos and the camera's spinning. And it starts out in one position, and as it gets to another position, there's like they moved a wall in, and it's all done in one shot. I like that. There's a part where with Tracy and her dad, that confrontation where Freddy's arm comes out, and then the camera whips around, and in camera, it all of a sudden turns into Freddy, like the dad just leaves the camera frame, and all those little tricks in camera were pretty cool. I did like those.
Wow, you gave Talion credit, man.
I do too.
For that was probably the cinematographer, though. Her job is to make everybody see the ultimate vision and be on the same page of what this film should be, and that she falls short at.
She even says herself it was probably a mistake to make it as comedic as they did.
And Robert Englund says we probably jumped the shark. Dude, you jumped that fucking shark 3 movies ago.
Fuck.
You gotta be kidding me. You don't think you jumped the shark in part 4? Like, it's just amazing. So, we talked about the Warner Brothers shit, and Jamie just said how comedic it was. The guy falls out of an airplane, and he has a gigantic sign on him that says, "Pull here," or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a parachute, and Freddy's at the top of it or something.
Oh, I love the way he looks there. It's great, though. He looks up and he's spinning around on the fucking top of the thing.
You can see his cable lowering him down if you look close enough. I noticed.
Yeah, Blu-ray, baby. What is with all, like we said, what's the parallel shit, man? This guy, he's in a dream in the van, and then he pulls the thing, and so he gets launched to the top of the van. He looked like he went through the roof or some shit. Like, why? Why can't you just lay down in bed anymore and maybe end up dead at the end of this whole thing or not? What's with our bodies have to mimic what the fuck we're thinking about? When did this start and why is it...
The first movie. It started in the first movie.
The first death, for that matter, Tina.
The first death. It started, and it did it with the guy in the jail cell, right? Wasn't there like... I don't know. He got hung or something.
And Johnny Depp, he went into his actual bed.
He just got blended into muck and splattered across the room. Yeah.
How does that happen in real life?
The series suffers from just making it up as they go along, even in individual movies. From
4 on in.
Some work better than that. Even from 1 to 2 to 3, all of them. They, some things they keep, some things they don't. It doesn't matter.
They've gone from bending the rules to breaking the rules to fucking making them up as they go.
Yeah, pretty much.
I actually like the treatment that Peter Jackson did for this film, where it had gotten to the point where Freddy was such a joke that kids would drug themselves up so they could go to sleep just to fuck with Freddy because he wasn't scary anymore. And then somehow he actually ends up killing one of the kids and then gaining power to come back. I think that is a much more interesting storyline and could have been really cool. And I think it would have illustrated exactly what the public thought of Freddy at that point. He was a joke. He was no longer scary. I think it's a beautiful parallel between what had happened in the film series and what the public thought about it. And I really would like to have seen that come to fruition.
I agree.
That's cool.
Yes.
I had no idea that he wrote a script.
When I saw the little comic, they do those like comic book drawing
Storyboard?
Yes, Jamie.
Did he also try to make it into 3 motion pictures as opposed to just 1?
Now, this could be argued as the lowest point in Nightmare on Elm Street history, depending on your views of Freddy, what he means to you, what he represents to you. Freddy, and we alluded to this earlier, Freddy pushing out the bed of spikes like Wile E. Coyote on a empty road with deserts and cactus on the sides, exactly like the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. I mean, I don't know. How does anybody say, okay, I'm willing to do this?
How does a grown-up still stand behind this franchise knowing that this kind of shit happens? Like, I'm a Freddy fan. Like, really? When's the last time you've seen these movies? Like, there's barely any redeemable qualities within some of this shit.
Right. I just don't understand. Looking at that, and he even looks at the camera and goes,
"Oh yeah," he gives the whole
because Robert Englund likes money. That's what he wants to pay. He likes paying his bills.
Yeah, he has $15 million right now, right? Is that what that said?
Whatever. He had money. He was doing all this bullshit on like Freddy's Nightmares, though. He was doing this shit in fucking on your TV. It was just.
Call me, kids. 1-800-999-DREAM.
Yeah, he apparently had a phone service where kids would call and shit.
He was a straight up whore. That, basically. Actually, we thought when we were watching the thing about him having the call-in line, like the 900 number, or 976, I think it was back then. We were talking about that, and Brian's like, wouldn't it be cool if Jason had one? It's like you just call and you're silent.
Yeah, like when we had him here for our 100th show.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, exactly.
We couldn't get a rise out of him.
He totally missed out on a good marketing ploy by being silent. That messed him up. If only he had known.
Right.
And that's what it is about Freddy and this series. Because they had the only talking killer of the big three, they fucking pushed it to the maximum. And they fucking squeezed out every penny they could. Am I happy about it? No, but I understand why they did it.
I guess I can't blame. I mean, if I were Robert Englund, I would be taking advantage of every opportunity that I could as well. I don't know anyone who would say, no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't, I don't want money,
Kane Hodder has a problem with how Jason kills people. He'll literally say Jason wouldn't crack your head like that. Now, you're telling me he has a problem with some emotion of his arm? But Freddy has no problem on how he's completely being portrayed? That is crazy, dude.
Yeah, I agree. I would probably have a little more love for my character if I had been with it as long as that. I would want it to have a little bit of respect.
Right.
So I totally see that.
Yeah, I mean, we got to start giving Kane Hodder props. At least he gives a fuck about Jason.
Yeah, but on one hand, he'll say Jason wouldn't do that, and then on the other hand, he's in fucking Jason Goes to Hell. So.
Right, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it seemed better on paper. I don't know.
Which none of that movie is what Jason would do. So,
Amen.
That's true.
Yeah, but he made a big deal about, I'll give him props. He said Jason wouldn't kill a dog. All because of that. They brought in that fucking dog for Jason Takes Manhattan.
He was supposed to kill it?
For no reason. You would think. You're scratching your head saying, why the fuck did they bring that dog in? Yes, he was supposed to kick it right off the fucking boat.
Oh, that would have been good.
It would have been great.
Great gag.
But
no, I'm actually glad he didn't do that, because one thing I have always loved about Jason is that he hasn't, like Michael killed the German Shepherd in the first one, which still upsets me.
Dogs. Yeah.
In the first one, he kills a dog in every fucking movie.
Yeah, but what about Jason in part 2?
Was he? Oh, he kills Muffin.
What about Muffin? You could make a statement. You could make a
Muffin isn't dead. We find that out at the end. She's there.
Oh, let's not get into this.
He just kills a dog who looks identical.
We don't even know that he killed that dog. It is a dead dog in the woods. No one said he did it.
Yeah, it died of natural causes.
Yeah, his skin just split open and
yeah, within like a 12-hour period.
Yeah, right.
Ripped apart by a bear.
And the girl couldn't find her dog in that same span of time. It was just amazing, the coincidences.
Well, there were bears. Beware of bears, remember?
Yeah, beware of bears, yeah. I don't know about you guys, but 58 minutes into this movie, I needed a break. I stopped it, and I went and did other things for about 3 hours, and then I was able to get through the second.
Not me, man. I wanted to power through. Like, let's get this shit over with.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I had to stop. So Freddy says every town has an Elm Street. You know. Now, here's the thing. How is that getting revenge if it's not solely about paying back the people who took your kid away from you, which is what you're trying to imply this movie is about, or what you're about through this movie, but it's just because now any town has Elm Street, we're just going to kill them because what? So basically, it's weird because, yes, it doesn't matter. It's all about gaining souls and all that type of shit. That's fine. But when you're in a movie that is trying to act like you're giving his fucking purpose, which is to pay people back because they took his kid away. So during that same movie, you're telling us, hey, we'll just randomly get anybody, though.
What's the point of him getting people back for taking his kid away? Because when we very first meet Freddy, the whole reason he's doing what he's doing is to pay back people for burning him alive. So, he's already switched gears on his motivation, which is ridiculous anyway. So, who cares?
Well, they had to go somewhere. We talked about it ourselves, either a show or 2 shows ago, when we said, so what happens when all the Elm Street children are gone? Then what? That's it. They had to come up with something.
Why doesn't he kill the parents?
Granted, it's stupid, but...
Yeah, how come he doesn't kill parents? How come?
He clearly just wants to kill people at this point. Why did he not kill the Elm Street parents?
He wanted to make them suffer. He wanted them to suffer by letting them watch their children die first, and then he should have come back and killed them in 6.
Yeah, he killed Nancy's mom, and he killed her dad. How about when the blonde chick's dad is molesting her, and he gets his face smashed out of shape?
Terrible effect.
It's like Dick Tracy shit. Isn't that like a character?
Oh my god, it looks like so bad.
Smudge face or some shit.
But that changed her whole life, actually, doing that. That changed the path her life was going on. If she didn't smash his face in like that, who knows? She might be sucking dick right now.
Yeah, she believed in slaves after that. She's a slaver.
I think she took acid after watching Spence's scene for the first time. That's what it was. Hey, what's this all about? She started taking fucking drugs and tripping out, and now she has a slave girl.
But hey, they brought it back. Oh, yo.
Johnny Gold!
Freddy decides to get nostalgic and chop his fingers off when he explains... Like, I guess somebody asked him, how come you don't die? And he's like, well.
Oh, nobody asked him that.
Nobody.
Oh, he just volunteered this information?
Yeah.
He just confesses why would he even fucking say that?
It's a cool callback to part 1.
I agree
cutting
with
out
that.
the fingers was a cool callback.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, well, let me tell you. So, the first time. Now, this is only the first time. I guess it would be just the Elm Street people. So what the fuck was he doing before part 1 started? Like for 15 years, he just did nothing?
Huh.
That's weird. Okay, whatever.
Wow, yeah, that is strange. Yeah.
He was waiting in hell for the kids to be old enough to make it interesting.
I need a friend. Where's Jason?
How? What? Sophomores? Tell me when they're juniors. Like what the fuck?
Be the ripe age. Yeah.
Okay, so he's going to explain all the ways he was killed. He goes, First
they tried burying me.
Okay.
No, burning, right? Burning first?
Oh, burning, okay.
Then a dog urinated fire on me. Oh, wait.
Holy water. And he goes, and my personal favorite, a mirror. Oh, no, he left out. Yeah, that's it. He left out part 4, mirror, and part 5, then my son puked souls into me, and it went through my body. Then my mom showed up. I became a baby.
Mom,
yeah.
Get out of my room, Mom. It's my boiler room.
Yeah. And then I went back.
What about part 2?
Yeah, part 2. Then a girl kissed me.
And these railings were strategically laced with flame fluid. She kissed. Jesse was inside of me somehow. God, I don't know what the fuck's going on at that point, but yes, I'm still here.
They killed me with love.
Then they killed me with kisses!
Then Nancy turned her back on me.
She stopped believing in me! I can't get them if they don't believe in me!
Which brings us back to then Doc Kincaid's big idea to if this can come out, then he can come out and he can bleed, which means he can die. And I'm thinking, didn't you watch the first movie? Yeah. Clearly that doesn't work.
Yeah, why are you calling back a method of murdering when we see it didn't even work?
Yeah,
right.
That was ridiculous.
That's like going, I have a great idea. Let's bury his remains and throw holy water on him.
So that's why he ripped the shirt then.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was, he had the fabric so then he could go, look, this fabric came out, which means Freddy can come out, which means he can die. Like, well, no, it doesn't. Clearly it doesn't. And obviously they're not going to know that, but we know that. So, and at the end, when she's like, Freddy's dead, and this is supposed to be the end. Like, they had a funeral in Hollywood for his character. Oh, yeah. They went all out. This is it. This is the end. This is the last one. And yet, they use the exact same method that they used the first time.
Only much, much worse.
Much worse.
So he ripped the sweater? It wasn't intentional, or it was?
You're stuck on the sweater.
I
honestly don't think it was intentional, but the poor acting and all that made it look like he reached out and grabbed it, I don't think it was intentional at all. But he did bring it back and said, hey guys, smell this sweater. He uses bounty sheets.
Freddy uses axe.
Yeah.
I don't think it was intentional. I think he just happened to be, the idea was that he had a hold of it and then it ripped and he brought it back.
That was the one thing I didn't understand.
The big question for this review is, did you all remember to put on your 3D glasses when Maggie did?
Mm-hmm.
I did.
You did? Because I forgot the TV just got really weird.
Yeah, look, you're supposed to walk around with them on you all the time. We covered this on an earlier show.
Oh, yeah, you're like that guy from Back to the Future.
Exactly.
The menu says, or at least on my version of it, the menu, like when the menu comes up, it says, "Don't forget to put on your glasses whenever Maggie does."
Wait, so the Blu-ray has a 3D version? Because I just have the DVDs.
This is just the DVD. It's just the DVD box set. I'm not upgrading this bullshit.
Yeah. Okay. Because mine didn't do that. You can't actually watch the 3D version, right?
Yeah, mine neither. And Matt, do you have the one with like the fold over cardboard thing that snaps in, those cheap ones that they used to make?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Strangely enough, I only own 3 Nightmare on Elm Street DVDs. 1, 3, and this one.
See, I have the entire Nightmare box set that came out on DVD, and it does have it. You get your choice between 2D or 3D version.
I have the UK box set. Maybe I have that choice for the Blu-ray.
And it comes with 4 sets of glasses.
That I don't have.
What fun! I actually did see this in the theater as a kid. It was the only Nightmare on Elm Street film I saw in the theater, and primarily because, 1, it's supposedly the last film, and 2, 3D. And 3D wasn't even a thing at the time.
Right.
So for them doing it seemed like a fun idea. That's why I went to see it. And in the theater, this kind of 3D actually works. It's like how Jason Lloyd is always talking about Friday 3 actually looks cool in the theater experience.
Friday 3 looks cool if y'all watching 3D.
I'm building an empire that's not built upon shit.
I like bitches young.
Shit, man. I saw 3, 4, and 5 in the theater. And I was so done after fucking 4 and 5, I didn't even go see this one.
I saw this one in the theater, and it's only one of a couple that I actually saw in the theater. This wasn't like Friday where I saw everything. Like,
Yeah, you had to.
Friday, here I come.
Right. Well, yeah.
But I did see this one.
We're talking negatively about this movie because it sucks and it deserves to be talked that way. But at the time I saw this in 91 or whatever, I guess I didn't have an opinion about how movies could actually suck.
Yeah, because the internet wasn't there.
Exactly. I either liked it or I didn't. But I watched all these movies growing up, and I never had a problem with them or questioned anything or anything. You know, you just go along with it. I mean, it's a movie. Who cares? It's just strange that now you see it with, in hindsight, and it's like, no, this is a really bad film, and most of them are.
It's the way I felt about Jason Takes Manhattan. I loved it, as a kid, and even in my early 20s when I started watching them again. I had no idea. And at that time, in the year 2000, I wasn't really on the computer much or anything like that. It didn't even occur to me that this is not a good movie. I'm just watching whatever happens, and it's like, fun,
right.
And it's so weird how the internet, it gives us great things like people are now experiencing this retro and reliving the movie, and it's fun to hear about things. But at the same time, the internet has destroyed movie experience, especially things that you had nostalgia about.
But you've also gotten older, too. I mean, part of that is maturity, and your viewpoint changes as you get older, and your tastes change as you get older. I'm no longer as willing to accept crap as I used to be when I was young.
I haven't matured out of Jason Takes Manhattan. I still think that's good.
Oh, you'll get there one day.
It's definitely better than this fucking movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's not great, but
I'll go along with
fucking
that.
Citizen Kane compared to this.
I mean, it's boring as fuck, but I would probably watch that over this.
Yeah.
Actually, I know I would. I would watch that over this.
At this point, the 3D glasses go on. She does what we said earlier. She walks into this dream demon thing, and it's supposedly Freddy's brain. I don't know how that works, but one of the memories, we talked about killing the animal, like smashing him. He killed a mouse. He smashed him with a hammer. And again, he's wearing green and red. Like, what the fuck is this?
So you would know who it was.
Yeah, but they were also teasing him, calling him son of 100 maniacs. Of course.
Why do they have this information?
It wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
It would not fucking happen.
Why did the other kids know that he was born that way?
How do they know that?
How did Alice Cooper become his foster parent? What is up with that? I mean, or his guardian or whatever the fuck. Like, who would give that guy...
Hey, Springwood is a small town. The population is only 15 or 16,000. Small town.
Yeah, so that's how Alice Cooper ends up with it.
Y'all, who wants to take this kid? I do. All right.
Hey, Cletus, you want another kid?
Dave, what is the conversation that Freddy has with the dream demons when he becomes who he is?
Yeah, and they say something about fucking...
Do you want it? Do you want to live forever?
Yeah, you gotta do this, and he's like, I want it all! It's like
wait, what do you want?
He's mine!
Hey, asshole! Up here! See, it's weird. We touched on everything, so it's weird to just try to wrap up the movie. But, Freddy gets pulled into the real world, but just like with Nancy, he doesn't show up. Sorry, he doesn't show up in your arms when you wake up for some reason, but his clothes and hat do. But for some reason, he doesn't. They have to walk around and find him, and it's Robert Englund, which I thought was cool because she even says, "So you're real here?" Which makes no sense because he was burnt up in real life anyway.
Right. So even if it was him, he would still be burned.
Right.
Why, it can't be Freddy pre-burn?
Oh, how?
I don't know. I'm asking. I'm confused now.
Well, how could it be? I mean, if you're going to pull him out of your dream, he was burned in real life before he died and went into dream world. So then if you're then going to pull him back out of dream world, how would he not be burned?
Maybe he just choked on the smoke, dropped dead, then the flames consumed him afterwards.
There you go.
Look at me trying to make sense of
Most people die in fires through the smoke inhalation, not the burns.
Exactly, man.
True.
So the terrible fight happens, worse choreographing, probably another, like you said, they made it up as it went along. She cracks his hand back, she punches him, blah, blah.
Thank God the police hadn't come to pick up all those weapons.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
They're supposed to do a lot of things.
There's a pipe bomb in the first act, and it shows back up in the third.
Yeah, well, of course, it's like
Yeah.
Chekhov's pipe bomb. That's right.
Yep, exactly.
Who has a baseball bat with spikes in it? Like who
Dave
actually?
Z.
Who actually?
Yeah,
makes
and Mick
that?
Foley.
The guy from Weird Science.
If you're not in a video game, who's fucking?
Yeah.
Maybe he was a professional wrestler doing hardcore matches. King of the Death Match, you know?
Yep. And she said, he's supposed to be pulled into this normal world, and that's the end of him. But he seems just as powerful here as he does. Like, he's getting stabbed and hand snapped, but he seems fine. He's even pulling the shit out of him that's pinning him to the wall, and so he can go approach her again. But, he doesn't get it all out in time. She does something else. And then the big climactic ending is the girl, the claw back, lights the fuse.
Yeah, and then hands it to her like, hurry up and take this. I fucking lit it for some reason.
Yeah, she might have wanted to get her attention before she committed to lighting it.
Yeah.
She throws it to Maggie. Maggie stuffs the pipe bomb into his chest and then kisses him on the cheek and says, like...
Happy Father's Day.
It's so Jamie Lee Curtis and Michael Myers, isn't it?
And then you find out it was the ambulance driver the whole time.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. It could have been an alright ending if he just blew up, but they decided to put this post-face of Freddy opening his mouth into another face, opening his mouth into another face, and it just... I don't know what I'm watching at that point.
It's a 3D effect. That's what they were doing with that. That's it.
Yep.
It looks cool in 3D coming at you. That is it.
They want to
the
have
dream
it.
demons escaping.
The dream people and
Yeah.
the little fucking
They're happy.
sperm-like. Yeah, they look fucking so stupid. They should have never done that. It looks dumb.
They
It's a
wanted
terrible
it to.
movie.
They wanted it to be grandiose. It was the fucking final ending of Freddy, supposedly. So they fucking did some ridiculous, crazy fucking shit.
Why couldn't a bunch of souls just escape him and go to heaven or something?
Well, they've already ripped off the other movies enough. How fucking much more are they gonna do? Good
Why
God.
couldn't she throw water on him and he melted like the Wicked Witch of the West?
Ooh, they would have bookended with how
Callback.
they
Yeah.
started it.
Exactly.
Wow.
What a world! What a world!
Oh, how can you do this to me? Oh, you're such a little sweet little girl. What are you doing? So then, the cheesiest possible, as if that wasn't terrible enough, they all get into a hallway together, and she goes, Freddy's dead.
She smirks first, like she's so proud of her fucking self. Fuck you, bitch. You were terrible in this fucking movie. And then it cuts instantly. Like, that's their no epilogue. Fuck you.
Yep, Freddy's dead.
Like, so stupid.
That's all you need to know.
That's what
Yeah.
they planned to be the last frame of film for this franchise.
They want it to be definitive. I truly think they didn't expect to make any more of these fucking movies afterwards.
I agree.
Unlike Friday 4, where they kind of, I feel like they felt like they were still going to make them. This one, I really think they didn't think they were going to make anymore.
Well, it wasn't lucrative anymore. I mean,
Right.
it was a waste of time.
Yeah, the delivery of the Freddy's deadline was was so nonchalant. It was like announcing that they thought it was going to be cold that day, and they go, oh, look at their fucking phone. Oh, it's 78 degrees outside.
Well, the movie's over, kids. She should have looked at the camera and said, "That's all, folks."
No, they should have had Freddy pop out and do it. That would have been awesome.
Oh, totally. You should have burst out of her chest like in the other movies.
Wow.
This is Mr. Skin from MrSkin.com with all the skinfo from the latest movies. Landing in theaters this weekend, Emilia Clarke co-stars in Terminator Genesis. Emilia doesn't show any skin assists in Genesis, so take your Schwarzenpecker over to Season 1 of Game of Thrones, where she bears boobs, butt, and bush.
I'll be back.
With some Kleenex.
This is the Mr. Skin Minute.
Nude on Blu-ray, Katarina Cass makes shaving cream sexy again in Danny Collins. As one of aging rocker Al Pacino's young flings, Katarina gets interrupted in the shower while trying to shave her pubes. Hey Katarina, finish up so we can see your hoo-ah! Nude on the Stars Network, former MTV VJ Lala Anthony made her nude debut on Power. Carmelo Anthony's wife scored a slam dunk of skin just 18 minutes into episode 12, dropping her bra and showing off her perky NBA All-Stars. Lala will give you hoop creams.
MrSkin.com.
Fast forwarding
to the good parts.
Yep, so that's the end. So, how do you guys rate this bitch? Matt is I'm most curious about because he actually lobbied to come on this show.
Hey, don't tell people that.
Because he felt he would probably be the only fan of this movie, and he wanted to really express his love for it. So, Matt, go ahead and do that now.
Well, I don't know if I said that exactly. My like for this movie was purely nostalgia. And like I said, I saw this in the theater. I saw the 3D and all that. So looking back on it and remembering the parts that I liked, I felt like I could have fun with this movie. It's not like a disappointment like 4 was ultimately. And so I just remembered enjoying it. Now, watching it now, I don't feel that way. I feel bad that I watched it now and I kind of ruined that memory. So this is obviously not a good movie. There's ideas in it that could have been actually really good if just handled by a better filmmaker or a better studio even. I think we all know the stories of New Line and how they just wanted to fucking put out more shit without having anything ready to go. So, to rate the movie, how you guys rating it? Netflix style, I would say I'd still say 3 out of 5. Like, I like it because of the nostalgia aspect.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Jenkins.
Oh, well, I said going in that I was like, well, there are things that I remember liking about this, and so I was really looking forward to watching this one after watching the 5th one because I was like, there's no way in hell it's going to be worse than that. And Brian kept telling me I was full of shit. It was. But I was like, no, it can't be. It can't be. And then the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, God damn, this movie's bad. I mean, it just, and it goes beyond the comedic stuff that I talked about, which I thought was clearly a mistake. And if you're going to make it, comedic, make it funny. But even beyond that, I think that they did things that we absolutely did not need, like the Dream Demons. I think that fucked everything up. There were some interesting ideas that, if handled better, might have worked okay. But I still say they should have made the Peter Jackson movie. I think that would have been good. But this one is just a wreck. And I'm going to have to give it a 1 because that's as low as we can go. So, I mean, that ties it with...
No, Jamie, you can give it a throw-up sound.
Okay. Kid, you have a sound bite of that you can work in there?
You ready? Jamie's rating is...
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So, yeah.
Okay, you get the Puke of the Month award. So, Dave Z.
Okay.
Yours is interesting because you like that it knew what it was compared to Part 4 trying to be Part 3 and so on.
Right. Well, see, what Matt said about watching it alone, I could see that it would hurt it. For whatever reason, 1, 3, and 6 were the ones I had on DVD, and it was for a reason. I always liked the flashback stuff in 6. I always liked the seeing Freddy, Robert Englund as Freddy before everything went down. So for some reason, I held it in a little bit higher regard than 4 and 5, and I have for a while. If I would have watched it by itself, I may have liked it less, but after trudging through this series and watching 4, which, I won't say it again, and then watching 5, and then watching this, I'm okay with it because of the self-awareness of it. And they just went with fucking full-bore ridiculous. Yes, they fucking broke rules just like they did in 4 and 5. Yes, the climax was fucking horrific, but I like the characters more in this movie. It's a little bit closer to Part 3 with the kids being in this fucking... I don't even know what the fuck they were in. What was this place they were in? It wasn't an institution. It
doesn't matter.
A shelter. They kept calling it a shelter.
Okay. I kind of like that. It's I'm much more into what happens in this than 4 and 5. And as much as I don't like the comedy, it was what it was at this point. We knew it was coming, so they went with it. So I'm definitely I have to rate it higher than 4 and 5. So I'll say 2.5.
But Dave, did we answer the sweater question?
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm glad we did the show.
All right.
There's one thing I don't understand, though.
Did Maggie have to buy this movie to get those 3D glasses?
No, Vern. Freddie just gave it to her.
Oh, okay, I'm fine then. Okay.
How do we know that they were going to burn down the barn?
Oh, fuck you.
Because they mentioned it 5 or 6 times.
That took me a second.
Yeah. I forgot about that. No, guys, seriously. I mean, I've only seen this 50 times.
Because they said go pour the gas around.
Thank goodness for this show. What can I say?
Nobody's gonna get hurt, baby.
See, we are an educational show.
Yes. Or what's the word Alex said? Not educational.
A learning about.
A learning about.
This isn't really a learning kind of show. Rating time, yes. Man, I don't watch any of these things on a regular basis. But so far, coming out of this mess we're in, I will watch 1, 2, and 3 again, and from there, nothing else I don't think I'll ever watch again. This one, I've been trying to give these things a pass, like the same way Dave said, like at the point, I accepted the idea that it's that time of horror. In 86, like we said, late 80s, and this far into every franchise, they always did go comedy anyway. So it's a normal progression for all of these franchises. So it's not crazy to think that a guy who's making jokes in part 1 and being a little dark humorous, or even saying "Welcome to Prime Time, bitch," even in the good one, would push the limits of comedy. So I even try to look at it with a forgiving eye, but with this one, it's like I even appreciated they did go more into Freddy, who he is. Then he has a daughter. Then she was taken away, and that's why he takes kids. But like Jamie said, it does clash with. Well, first I thought you were killing them because they just set fire to you for what you did. Because technically you are innocent because the judge signed the search warrant in the wrong place. So. Yeah, there's a little bit of clashing here. I did appreciate the flashbacks. So I can't say I hate this, and it was creative on a level. I'm going to say a 2.5 out of 5, because I'll never watch it again, even though I didn't think it was despicable. Like Part 4, who's trying to be Part 3, and 5, who doesn't know what it is. Mm-hmm. So that's my rating. Can we at least give them credit that they actually did kill Freddy? I mean, he's not Freddy in the new Nightmare, so they sort of stuck to their word. Oh, no, Freddy vs. Jason. Never mind.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, never mind. Okay. So, Matt, thanks for joining us. Sorry, your memories are not as good as your reality.
Oh, that's okay. Thanks for having me on. And if I could take this moment right here to plug my podcast, it's called Banana Laser. It's on the Horrorphilia network of podcasts, horrorphilia.com. I host it with 2 other assholes. We talk a lot of horror and have a lot of fun, so you guys should check that out. Banana Laser. It makes no sense, but you'll have a great time.
Awesome. We'll all tune in for that.
He did give it a 3 too. But he did give it the highest rating, so it wasn't a bad experience for you.
You know what was actually fun was watching my girlfriend watch it for the first time and just seeing her whole emotion deflate. And she was falling asleep at one point, and I was like, "Why? Why are you falling asleep?" And
so I could see Freddy.
She's like, "Yeah, do you have to ask?"
Wait, your girlfriend just watched Human Centipede 3, and this is the one that you're looking at her about? I want to know her reaction to that one. Holy fuck.
We had the best sex of our life afterwards. That's one.
What was Tiffany's reaction to this one? I know she likes the first one.
She thinks it's stupid.
Well, good for her.
Like, when we looked at each other, it was just like, she's like, what? What is this?
I can't believe we're making love while this is on. Jesus.
Actually, I think I did get her to drop some face in between the movie during that break, so that's pretty good.
Good.
Yep. So, guys, we'll be back next week. So we got 2 more movies, guys. So tune in for those, and we'll see you then.
Bye-bye!
Don't fall asleep.
I got a dentist appointment next week. I might not make it.
Oh. See you next week as the Skeleton Crew's A Nightmare on Elm Street retrospective continues. Same bedtime, same dead channel.